brighten up those already bright mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Mornings at the Cabin, indeed. Thank you, Jill. As always, Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter with you on your Thursday morning. This morning's show brought to you by the Capitol Theater. Win tickets to Blinded by the Light, opening Friday for 1 week only. All you have to do is keep listening to the show. That's it. Listen for a Springsteen song. We're going to have it sprinkled throughout the next couple of hours, and we'll probably have a question at some points. Namely, what is Bruce's favorite cheese? Todd called in and said it was some form of Roquefort. I don't know about that. Give us a ring, ding, ding. It's a beautiful day.
It's got to be a stinky cheese.
It's got to be a stinky cheese.
Yeah.
Something that's made in New Jersey, preferably Asbury Park.
Just some old cheddar.
Yeah, that's right. There's actually a Springsteen's cheese. It actually smells like him after a 3-hour show. It is pungent. I've never been to a Springsteen show, and you and I were just talking about this, about how, like, it's like being a fan of the Beatles. Like, you know that the Beatles exist.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a hardcore fan, you have some songs that they like, but you may not celebrate their entire catalog, even though they're like upper echelon of rock glory, which is what Springsteen is.
Yeah.
I got 4 or 5 Springsteen songs that I would like have on a playlist.
I'd call them rock royalty.
Rock royalty, indeed.
Yeah.
But I don't celebrate his entire catalog.
No.
There's only so many songs you can hear about unions. and strike action and things like that. Right?
That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
Ollie?
Not disagree entirely.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
It does cut like a knife. Mornings at the Cabin. Bryan Adams cuts like a knife. Canada's answer to Bruce Springsteen. That's right. We were just talking about this. Ollie loves Bruce Springsteen. Lecter here loves Neil Young. Neil Young is his Springsteen. And my Springsteen is probably Jack White, but I'll say Bryan Adams for the sake of this. Bryan, Springsteen for some. Neil Young for others. Bryan Adams for the rest.
Where does Gowan fit in?
Right there, right next to miniature American flags. Criminal Minds. We will never play it. Mornings at the Cabin. Wheeler, All, and Lecter with you on your Wednesday morning. Thursday morning. Damn. Every time. At least I'm a day ahead this time. I didn't think it was Friday.
Yeah, things are looking up already.
So, so yesterday, obviously, a pretty big day. Pretty big anniversary. We didn't really talk about it. It's not something we needed to get into yesterday. Obviously, an election was called yesterday, and some people took Trudeau to task for that. And 40 days before an election is pretty standard practice. But Ollie did want to share with us something that's kind of nice that comes out of this. Some stories of heroes, obviously, but some stories of some animals that took part in the rescue effort. And there was a huge tweet thread yesterday. It's got 120,000 retweets. And kind of nice. Ollie, you want to share that with us?
Yeah, it was the last thing I saw yesterday, just before I headed to bed. It's from if you want to check this out, it's from a Twitter account called Clays and Birds. And the simple premise of it was that every year as we move away from the events of 9/11, I'm reading from it now, this person said they find the images of the towers falling don't impact the way that they used to, so they try to focus on individual stories. And this year they wanted to focus on the dogs of 9/11. And the whole thread, and there are dozens of tweets, is just individually remembering all the search and rescue dogs and the therapy dogs that took part in this. Now, it never even occurred to me that we would be able to individually figure out who all the dogs were that helped out trying to rescue people after that. I didn't think that people would have kept records of that, but clearly they did. And there are photos of all these different dogs helping out, and little profiles, 1 tweet long profiles of all the different dogs explaining who they were, where they came from. Yeah, there's a dog that came down from Nova Scotia to help out. Like, came down with the handler. The handler apparently got suspended because they'd gone without leave. They just took off and were like, well, they're going to need me and my dog, and just took off across the border and
Why
turned
would you
up.
Suspend somebody?
And then turned up on TV.
Boss.
No doubt.
Right? I mean, that does seem a little crazy. I don't know more than that. That is secondhand from this tweet. Who knows? But there are all these different stories of these different dogs that helped out, and I was impressed at being able to find a way after 18 years to learn something new and feel something different about the tragic events of that day. And I all credit to this Twitter account, Clays and Birds, for taking the time to put together this incredible memorial to all these dogs. And it turns out there is an actual memorial at the fourth crash site, so the one that was not the Trade Center and one was not the Pentagon.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, the one in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
There is a
93.
memorial to the search and rescue dogs, and there's a great big statue there, which is really cool.
Very cool. Very nice.
Did
Well,
not know that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I knew that there were a ton of rescue dogs and things like that. That's how they're great, very useful for finding people in rubble and things like that. So
Yeah. Cats, not so much.
cats just kind of sit there licking themselves. But that's very cool. Very nice story. And so what's the name of that Twitter handle again?
Clays and Birds, things
Clays
you
and
would
Birds.
shoot at the sky. Why not? Great.
I'm surprised about the opening line. I don't know if it was just for effect or not, but the thing about the towers collapsing not having the same impact they once did. I don't know if you've watched the video recently, but like I still
it's nuts.
I still get like chills.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like we all were obviously alive and switched on by that point. We all remember where we were.
Yeah.
And I think we all remember like how the rest of our days played out after that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the impact. I assume it was similar across the pond.
Yeah,
But
completely. I mean, I vividly remember I was at school at the time, and we just stood next to one of these massive old school hi-fi blocks, like sound systems that was tuned into the talk radio.
yeah.
Listening to the description, because we didn't have any TVs at school. So you were just listening to the radio until we could get home that night. And of course, everything's happening in the mid-afternoon our time.
Right.
So then getting home that evening, and it would be about like 3-4 hours after it had happened.
Yeah.
I remember my stepdad and I just stood in front of the TV
Yeah.
for an hour. Like, didn't even sit down, just stood in the living room in front of the TV watching the pictures.
Yeah.
And even now, the thing that gets me now is some of the early footage of people who were just happened to have cameras on hand.
Yeah.
I think that affects me a little bit also because it's my job.
Yeah.
And I have been sort of just bopping around with a camera for a living, trying to imagine what it would be like to hear the plane go overhead. And there are just a couple of people who happen to have cameras.
Yeah.
Right.
Who
One was
heard a plane go over and like, oh, that seems kind of weird, and swung the camera around to follow it just as it happened.
That was a documentary crew, film crew.
Yeah.
That did that. They were
And they
doing
were
a
with
documentary.
firefighters.
They were with firefighters that day to like a day in the life of firefighters, and that's what they ended up documenting.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy to imagine from the point of view of being that camera person, and real as you swing across with the camera, just being like, oh, I wonder what that is. Suddenly then capturing one of the only real-time shots of the first aircraft.
The first one, yeah.
Before, obviously by the time the first one, then everyone is watching and the second one happens. But the first plane hitting, there's just a couple of people who happened to be rolling with cameras at the time. And watching that footage still is heart-stopping for me. Absolutely.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
The new iPhone 11 leaked on Tuesday and already garnering controversy, other than the fact that it's the newest iPhone to come out in just over a year, and your last one will become completely obsolete within the next 30 minutes. Probably just stop working. It's also triggering sufferers of trypophobia. Now, if you don't know what trypophobia, or it could be trypophobia, but I think it's trypophobia because tripe is like the innards of a stomach, and
You can't possibly expect us to swallow that tripe, do you?
It was a gift from the people at the Meat Council. So it's triggering sufferers of trypophobia. Now, if you don't know what trypophobia is the fear of holes. That's a new one on me. So it's the back design. So it looks like there's 3 camera lenses on the new leaked images. So they're going for probably the best camera on a smartphone ever. So they're actually not holes. They just look like holes because they're dark lenses.
They're actually not holes.
They're actually not holes.
Now, unbelievably, Jesse was not chosen by Apple to present this phone to the world. Now, actually, they're not holes.
These are not holes.
But they look just like
They
them.
look just like them.
All the tech bloggers in the crowd, ooh, they're not holes.
So a lot of tweets going out. These new cameras trigger my trypophobia, and it's no joke. people like with pukey faces and whatnot.
Well,
but it's triggering this
It
trypophobia.
is a joke, isn't it, though? It is.
I mean, it doesn't seem to be.
Well, yet somehow it remains.
Well,
I
we're
mean-
learning something today. Right?
Yes.
I didn't know that was a thing. I
So-
didn't know there
I'm
was
sorry,
a fear
but
of many
come
holes.
I know, but sometimes holes make people uncomfortable.
Which is fine. I get that. There
Yeah.
are certain, like, if you put me standing next to a sinkhole, for example, I would
That's right.
feel pretty
You'd
uncomfortable.
have trypophobia.
I feel like if it's on the back of my phone,
Yeah.
my brain,
No, but
even
it's-
though it looks like a hole,
Right.
even though it looks like a hole, I feel like my brain is able to convince myself that the likelihood of me falling down that hole into my small handheld phone
Yeah.
is slim
Yeah.
to nil.
Yeah.
Therefore, I would probably be able to combat the base urge to be afraid of it.
I'm not sure it's the fear of falling into the hole. It's just okay. So
Well, how else could the hole get you?
research into trypophobia is limited. Jeff Cole, a visual scientist at the University of Essex in the UK. You went there, didn't you? No. Didn't you? No, wait. Where'd you go? Oxford. Yeah, that one. The other one.
Yeah.
Told CNN that while it might seem a little odd for people to feel uncomfortable at the sight of holes clustered together, for people who with trypophobia, the images can cause a range of reactions with varying levels of severity. According to this research, the phobia arises in part because the inducing stimuli share basic visual characteristics with those of dangerous organisms. So it's not necessarily the fear of falling into them, but possibly like spider eyes,
Yeah.
or like
The
have you ever
throat
watched
of a jaguar.
the throat of a jaguar? I mean,
Poisonous sponge.
well, I mean, but also just like maybe the idea of like a long tunnel with no light at the end of it can induce some sort of
Right,
fear.
but if it's on my iPhone, it probably isn't those things.
I don't know.
Oh, well,
I feel like the iPhone could be a long tunnel into a desolate
But
wasteland.
not that side of it.
Yeah, I don't
The
know.
other side you won't worry about.
Well, yeah, but those 3 beautiful cameras that they're going to have on the back of this thing are definitely going to be recording every movement you make. So that's maybe part of the trypophobia fear is that the fear of just...
Sting was so ahead of his time.
That's right.
Every step you take.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
Yep,
you're just
he
a
knew.
whole enthusiast, Ollie.
That's
and
right.
You don't
You're the-
realize
that
you have
is.
the opposite of trypophobia, which is... I don't know what it is.
Trypophilia?
Trypophilia. Is that would that be
I'm a
the opposite?
Trypophile.
Trypophile.
Love a good hole. No way.
It sounds a little
Stop.
like this.
Yes, it does. 1 second.
Oh, there,
Go ahead.
there we go.
A little
Simple as that.
simple as that.
Yeah.
You trypophile, you. So I guess those who are triggered by trypophobia or have trypophobia will not be buying the new iPhone 11. Is there a word for the fear of planned obsolescence? Is there? No.
No. Throwaway.
Throwaway
No.
phobia. Yeah, constant pollution by a huge corporation phobia.
Lack of attention span.
Listen, though, like, so the new feature on the there's a new. I saw a post about the iPhone 11. One of the leaks is that one of the new features is that you can do a slow-mo selfie. And I mentioned that I have a really great feature
what?
on my slow-mo
A slow-mo selfie.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Selfies are static
I don't
images.
I know.
What?
But I mentioned on that post that my Galaxy S9 also has a wonderful feature. It still works after 2 years.
Hey,
So that's pretty good.
All right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that. Apple can go to hell. Or triggering trypophobia and just really leading the way in planned obsolescence and intrinsic obsolescence.
A little early for intrinsic obsolescence, don't you think?
I suppose. You are triggering my tryptophilia, though. Beck, Devil's haircuts. I like hoes.
Scenes on the cabin.
Will you cut out that racket? I'm trying to feed your child.
How am I supposed to make it as a famous musician if I don't practice?
Will you stop talking about music?
But it's my dream, baby.
I'm tired of hearing about your dreams. Daddy said if we move home, he could give you a job at the slaughterhouse. You can make an honest living. Wouldn't have to hang your head in shame walking around like a failure.
I think I'm doing okay for a 15-year-old with a wife and a baby.
But, sweetheart, I thought you liked working at the slaughterhouse for my daddy.
I did. It's just, as much as I loved it, Edith, I want more than that.
Ain't no musician ever made no money.
What? Of course they do. Plenty of them do.
Name one.
Slim Whitman.
Who the hell is Slim Whitman?
All right, Frank Sinatra.
Who the hell is Frank Sinatra?
Edith, I'm starting to think that maybe you don't believe in me.
I do believe in you. I just know you're going to fail.
Scenes from the cabin.
Know the movie? Submit your guess to mailbox@cabinradio.ca or send us a message on Facebook for your chance to win gift certificates to some awesome Yellowknife restaurants, including Zehabesha, the Monkey Tree Pub, the Woodyard Eatery, Copper House Restaurant, and Java Roma. Listen to Cabin Radio every weekday to win, or download the Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
This morning brought to you by the Capitol Theater. Win tickets, possibly soon, to Blinded by the Light, opening Friday for 1 week only. All you have to do is keep listening to the show. Blinded by the Light is a movie containing a lot of Spruce Springsteen music. That's right. That's where we're at this morning. Ollie, can you tell us a little bit more about Blinded by the Light?
It's so cool. Watch the trailer. It's on our Facebook page.
Okay.
It's got incredible reviews. The critical, the acclaim for it is really, really strong.
88% on Rotten Tomatoes.
88%.
It
Not
is
too
a
shabby.
very well-liked movie by the critics. And the whole deal is it is about how the music of Bruce Springsteen changes the life of a Muslim kid growing up in the UK.
Oh, very cool.
And it's all about how it completely revolutionizes his approach to life and everything. It tells his life story through the music of Bruce, and how he is trying to convince everybody that Bruce Springsteen's music is speaking to him, and how everyone else in his small English town is this Bruce guy that you keep banging on about has got nothing to do with your life.
He doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
We've
Yeah.
never heard of him.
We've never heard.
But guess what? He does exist.
Yeah.
And that's the plot.
This sounds-
It's honestly, even the trailer's really funny.
It does.
And it looks like it's a bunch of fun. It is here for 1 week, starting
right.
tomorrow.
And we're giving away tickets.
And we're giving away 5 pairs of tickets, courtesy of Capitol Theatre. You can use those for any screening in the week as well. So you don't have to go tomorrow. You can pick any screening of the show during the week and use your free pair of tickets. Then.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
And how can people win?
By answering one question that is tangentially related to Bruce Springsteen, Jesse.
Okay, fair enough, Ollie. Hit us with the question.
I have never had the chance to interview Bruce Springsteen, but...
Wait. When people answer, how can they answer? Message? Phone? Scream at us in the street.
Scream at us in the street.
All right.
Email, mailbox@cabinradio.ca.
Yeah.
Messages on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
All those things. We're going to repeat this question a few times this morning. We're going to randomly draw 5 people out the hat at the end of the morning. Okay?
Very nice.
We're going to do it through Lecter's show as well. We're going to give people a few more chances to do this. The question is, haven't had a chance to interview Bruce, but I have interviewed his daughter,
Yes.
Jessica Springsteen.
Loose Springsteen.
Sport does she play? This is in my past life as a sports reporter.
Uh-huh.
What sport does Jessica Springsteen play? Pretty
All right.
easy to go find out.
Can we
Your
give
chance
people a
to
hint?
learn about all things sports.
Can we give him a hint?
You can give them a hint if you want.
You don't really play this sport.
You don't play it, no.
It's not something you play.
It's something you do.
It is a sport.
But you don't play it, though, I don't think.
You don't play it.
You don't really play it.
I felt like you're talking about baseball.
No. Well, you just don't. What? No, hey, wait. You play baseball.
Baseball's a game.
Yeah.
This is a competition.
This is a competition. That's right. That's your hint. What
boxer.
What sport does Jessica Springsteen participate in?
Wrestler.
Oh, right.
That's a good Springsteen reference.
That
right
would have
there.
been a great. That would have been a great song to cue up next.
Is that
But I
anything?
didn't.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
Capitol Theater, the sponsor of MATC this morning. And tickets to Blinded by the Light are in the offing. It is starting on Friday. It's only here for a week. And all you have to do is keep listening to the show. You already know the question, but I'll repeat it anyway. What sport does Jessica Springsteen participate in? A few of you have gotten in your answers already. We'll continue this throughout Lecter's show, and then we'll pick a winner a little bit later on today. We got 5 tickets?
5 pairs of tickets
5 pairs of tickets
to give away.
This is pretty awesome.
Pretty cool.
Capitol Theater in participating in this is great.
Yeah.
I love free movie tickets is one of the best prizes for any contest ever. Like $1 million is great, but a free
you
movie
can't
ticket,
have that.
You can't have it. Free movie ticket,
Failing that.
pretty great.
Yeah, very
So-
cool. Keep entering all morning long. Just last thing on Lecter's show this morning, we're going to do the draw, and we'll pick out 5 people who will each win a pair of tickets. You can use those tickets any showing the next week. It's only in town for a week. Blinded by the Light opens tomorrow, here for a week. Win some tickets.
All right. Would you like to go through the terms and conditions as well?
Terms and conditions, you
Absolutely.
should enter soon, and then we'll pick a winner.
That's right. Oh, that sounds good. And by participating in this contest, you have signed over your soul to Cabin Radio. You can be called on for volunteerism at any time. Yesterday, exciting news. It was announced yesterday late at night. And again, obviously some articles coming out this morning. Water found for the first time on potentially habitable planet. So, planets that live within the so-called Goldilocks zone of a nearby star could potentially, like where Earth is.
Is that
like
planets that are capable of like holding 3 bears?
That's right, absolutely.
The Goldilocks zone.
Yeah, the Goldilocks zone. If bears can survive on these planets, that means humans could potentially survive on these planets. And any kind of bear, even water bears, little tardigrades. So, water on a planet that is, how far is it away?
It is
111 light years.
111 light years.
Which is about 650 million miles. That's a lot.
How's that habitable?
Okay, no,
Well,
but they
'cause
found water in the
There
atmosphere.
are other stars, Scott.
Yeah.
So you know when you look in the night sky?
Yeah, those are all
You see
stars.
I mean, I'm thinking about us.
Yeah.
I want a place for us to go.
Well, this
we
is the
can't
thing.
get there.
No,
It's
but I
too
mean,
far away.
the more we find them, the chances the more we find, the chances that
Well,
more
the-
exist grow.
And
Yes.
there might be one on our doorstep that we just missed. It
Yeah.
was on the other side of the sun all along.
No, there's not.
There might be.
We know exactly what's out there.
What?
Everything.
Everything and nothing. So this is pretty cool. It's called the planet is called K218b. Working on a name, but it's a plausible candidate for in the search for alien life. So if there's water, chances are there could be life. That's the thinking, right? Because the water is where life kind of thrives. Although
Right.
we found life that thrives in like sulfuric acid as well. So I mean, we couldn't thrive there, but other life could. So for human life, that's what's important. For human life, water in the atmosphere, big one. This is a big one.
Okay.
So there you go.
right.
But it's 111 light years away. 650 million miles with the fastest spaceship known to humans right now. Ollie, how long?
It'd take about 2 million years.
2
That's
million years.
If you were traveling at the speed of the New Horizons probe, which
Oh,
is
okay. Which
pretty
is
quick.
not like, I mean, that's not even the speed of light.
If you cranked it up a little bit, so yeah, if you get it to go, 4 times as fast, obviously
Yeah.
that's only 500,000 years.
That's right.
So if you imagine that in human history terms, 3 times,
Yeah,
4
3
times. Well, I mean, in terms of recorded human history,
Yeah.
about like 100
10 times. Yeah. Well, 100 times. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're getting there.
We're getting there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. 111 years if you go the speed of light. I mean, just bring a couple of families. They'll
And if
figure
you've
it
got a
out.
warp drive, it's just a short hop.
Yeah. I suppose. So, I mean, my first question was, when can we move in? Let's get started on this right away, because this planet is through, man. This planet is yesterday's news.
Yeah, if your opinion is that climate change is ruining this planet and it's not going to be habitable for much longer, the bad news is we are not finding another planet in time.
You never know. What if we we go to the moon? Start a
Not a
colony on
planet.
the moon.
Not a planet.
I've had it with this Anthropocene, man. We're done. That's what? Don't give me that look. What? That's the era we're in right
Yes,
now.
I'm aware of
Okay.
that. However,
Huh?
I worry that you're looking for some kind of credit for that.
No,
Okay.
I'm not. What? That's the era.
Because it was a pretty hollow scene, if you ask me.
Oh, God. Ugh. I suppose you want credit for that. Well done.
Scott's just looking at both
It's like, yeah. huh. It's great stuff, guys. Great material.
So this is this is good
Are
stuff.
you trying to suggest that the jokes we're making based on the different eons of the planet are not somehow
So-
cutting edge and appropriate?
Maybe not hitting home.
I posted about this, and I just said, when can we move in as a joke? And some people were like, it's already been drained of its resources by Nestle, which is funny. And another one of my Facebook friends who was a conspiracy theorist, I'll say it lightly, just said, sure there was. What benefit is there to say that there's a planet 111 light years away that could possibly be habitable to life?
Yeah, that'll sway an election.
Absolutely right.
Sounds like a distraction to
Sounds
me.
like typical lefty propaganda.
You'd better all carry on voting Liberal, or else they'll just destroy that planet right now.
Justin Trudeau is on a bus to that planet right now.
the plane is
That
still
is
broken.
pretty cool. That is pretty cool. If we can just, obviously there's alien life out there somewhere. We just have to discover it. And it's a matter of how evolved or unevolved it is. We're probably, we're going to find life on another planet, it'll probably just be like microbial life first.
Yeah.
But that leads us to believe that there's probably some other advanced life forms out there.
Yeah, maybe.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If we're the most advanced life form in this universe, let's just blow the whole thing up. Bruce Springsteen. Actually, no, that would make us really important.
I have a sad feeling that we are.
What are we doing with that opportunity? Well, we're playing some Springsteen, that's for sure. I'm on fire. Not unlike the planet.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.